I can remember, I'll take it from our previous housing recession. When I first came to Seaside in the early 90s, we were going through another depressed market. And one of the individuals, families within our church, had a nice home down by the beach. Del Mar, wanted to live out in Fairbanks Ranch, had a nice job, good income. And they wanted this house. And so they went to see if they can get a loan, and they did not qualify for this particular loan. And so they sold their house, and they took all the money they could get out of their house, which was, I don't know, maybe it was $500,000 or something. And they borrowed as much money from family, friends, credit cards. They just maxed themselves out so they would qualify for the bank requirement, which they still couldn't afford the mortgage payment, but they had themselves convinced that if they could get in there, the association fees and the electrical, the insurance, they could somehow manage it. Now we call it just subprime lending. But, in those days, you just had to do, and so they got themselves in there. They didn't have the inspection on the house because they were trying to skimp and save the money. And, well, they were in there 6 months, and the house started moving on the hill and cracks showing up. And to a heat 11,000 square foot house in the middle of December and January was quite staggering, to the point where they used to go to bed in their down coats in the bowling alleys down in the basement. They just were no longer using because they didn't want to use up the electrical bill. And they had a great view. It was a nice place. But all of a sudden, they were borrowing from all their credit cards. They were playing like poker chips with their credit cards, just moving things around, getting farther, late fees, tacking on everything, and to the point where then the electrical went with the foundation that was cracking. They were not in a position, and eventually they lost their house. They lost it. Now, they not only lost their $500,000 that they had put in, but they also lost their credit rating. It was a prominent individual or family in town. It was quite a big thing that lost credibility. Stress in relationship to the max, I can't even tell you. The children could feel the pressure. The health went south. All because they stepped out in a way that a consciousness really did not support it. It wasn't in alignment. They forced something to happen. And when we are forcing something to happen, you don't move with the ease and the grace and the joy. All of a sudden, you go to bed at night with your eyes popping open at 4 a.m. going, oh my God, what did I do here? That doesn't feel good. You know that feeling? You don't have to fess up here. It's kind of a rhetorical question. But, another family, a beautiful couple, very successful, 2 solid incomes, and they were just prisoners of spending is what I would call it. They felt they were entitled to spend whatever it is they made. That's what they did. They made a lot, they spent a lot, and did they really need new skis and boots every season? Of course they felt they did. Did all the children need new laptops? Well, of course they did. Did they need, 3 cars? They each had a very nice car, and then they had to have a truck for the family to haul all the stuff in, right? It's logical. It just makes sense. And all of a sudden, the brilliance or the intellect we were speaking about a little earlier, that penny that gets in the way, starts to rationalize some stupid moves. And the next thing you know, you're maxed out again, and you're not living within a sense of comfort, a sense of well-being. I am here to share with you that part of prosperity and part of the abundant life is a sense of comfort. It is going home at night and being able to sleep. It is not having headaches, backaches, or any other kinds of aches and pains, including afraid to go to your mailbox. It is about living in a flow. It is about living in grace. It is about living and trusting that presence of God. And so I have got a wonderful tool for you. Before you spend on something, you stop, You go, you breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 6, 7, 8, 9. Try it. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 6, 7, 8. Kind of notice how the shift goes on? All of a sudden, like, clears up the mind, clears up the thinking. And a clarity comes. There is not an automatic reflex. It says, I got to get it. Fran, you want to play something?
The breath of God is breathing me, is resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. I know that all is well. The grace of God is gracing me, is resting in the grace of God. I know that all is well. I know that all is well. It's the breath, it's the light, it's the love, the grace, the joy of the breath of God is breathing me, and I know that all is well. I know that all is well. I know that all is
It's beautiful. Thank you, Reverend Fran.